Going live. Hello, everyone. Good evening. This is Michael Gibson. I am the creator of Norm Therapy, and I'm also a senior norm therapist. It's been a long time coming having this vision reality become a reality. And, it's just one of those things sometimes where you see a vision and you see what you want out of it. And then all of a sudden it starts to occur. And it's normally organically how it begins to take hold. Even if you have two people watching or 2 million people watching, isn't the point. The point is that you have something of substance and need, and that will generate the audiences in the future, plus advertising dollars. But in our last session, session before last, I was talking to Montez about the prison system and the disenfranchisement of prisoners once they leave and they paid their debt to society. And in all of my research, what I've found is 48 out of 50 states in the United States actually have disenfranchisement laws, all of which, believe it or not, I'm sure you all know where I'm going, stems from days of post-Reconstruction as well as slavery, pre-slavery, and not pre-slavery, but pre-ending of slavery and after the 14th Amendment. Once the 14th Amendment went into effect, and then the 15th Amendment extending the vote to blacks, the racist organizations like the Ku Klux Klan and some local governments around the country, especially in the South, decided that they were going to disenfranchise people by putting on the books laws to prohibit prisoners from having rights once they even left prison. Once you have that mancha or that stain on your record as a felon, some states have not all at one time disenfranchised you totally from the system, and those laws just remain on the book to this very day. And what they cause is havoc, and they incentivize the felon to go back into prison because if you can't communicate and move freely in a society in order to get a job, further your education, raise a family, buy a home, vote. If you can't do these things, then you feel left out. And that exclusion oftentimes will bring a psychological trauma to ex-felons or prisoners. And it brings about a sense of a doldrum of hell. And that gives people the impetus and push that they need in order to do something that they're accustomed to doing and why they were probably put in prison in the first place instead of the propensity of doing something better with their life. They're stripped from the tools to do it. And I think that's a savage system. I don't think any other system on the planet does that other than the United States, just by my research. And I'm wondering why. It's, it doesn't take a far stretch to realize that just as many people are against people having rights. If right now almost 4 million Black men are disenfranchised from the vote in the United States, imagine what that could do to any voting bloc. I think it's much more political than anything else. And the white men that find themselves in that system, also, just imagine that voting bloc in any other culture for that matter. And so if people know where they can put you aside, I'm speaking of politicians, and set aside 4 million votes that they don't have to worry about because they would be leaning either Republican, Independent, or Democratic based on the population, that in itself is an incentive to keep people down in society. It's a shame, but there are many places you can find this information on the internet and why they do it. And historically speaking, it's very indicative of what the United States have done with laws, especially with Black people and minorities and even immigrants over the years, over the decades. And we were all immigrants at least all of our ancestry, as well as our uh, family members were, of course, immigrants at one time, but we've demonized everything. I want to talk more about that as we continue. I'm wondering if Montez is here now. I'd like to bring him in and talk about that for a few minutes and then go into other matters. Hey, Montez, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing very good. So tell us
That's
some
good.
good news.
Well, I got my license.
Yay! After all that speech of me saying, Ohio is one of those states that have relaxed that a little bit and they work
Yeah,
with it. And I wanted to kind of save that, but you burst the bubble, and that's okay. Uh,
yeah,
it's a good thing that Ohio is one of these places that actually does that. They actually allow you uh, enfranchisement in your life, and I like that. So tell me how your experience was getting your driver's license.
Oh, it was great, man. I've been crisscrossing the highway, crisscrossing the Midwest for the last 4 years by
Mhm.
myself. It was cool. I was nervous. I don't know why. But it was right on time because Thursday I got an interview at a homeless shelter or a homeless community shelter, um, being a carrier and custodial, which is my diploma. My technical diploma is in commercial custodial, and
Mhm.
I needed a license for that. And so I ain't worried about a thing no more.
There you go, brother. Okay, well, let's keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on. Your career path changes almost weekly, but you never hesitate to keep going and
As long
moving
as I
forward.
can keep me a job, man, I don't. As long as I got some money in my pocket and I can look good and I can take care of my family, I don't care about nothing. I'm
Let's
doing
just
it.
put the family on top. We'll look good last. You're good-looking brothers. You don't have to worry about that.
Well, I'm gonna look good doing that. So
Yeah, yeah, but priority in life is like the biggest thing that people mess up. Yeah, even me, sometimes you look at things and you want to grant it a priority, but you have so many things tussling and tugging at you that it's hard. It's really
yeah,
hard to find priority. But you seem to have your priorities in check. You really do, at least for now. And I like that. Now, bigger problems are going to surface in the future, Montez. You know that. That's how life operates.
yeah,
But I don't think it'll be anything that happens to you anytime soon that you can't handle.
yeah.
All right, tell me about your day. What happened today?
I got up, uh, watched the news, um, was appalled like always because I like politics. I like to see what's going on in the world so that I can talk about it
Of
and
course.
be knowledgeable about it. And then by 9 o'clock, I was at the bank. I had a paycheck that was hovering over the system. Didn't know where it was at, so I had to hunt it down. It took me about 4 hours. I went back to my employer, picked up my check, got a reference because I wasn't fired. I just didn't meet the unseen eligibility. Um,
Because of your conviction.
yeah, and then I just spent 3 hours in the DMV, and that's been my day.
Well, that seemed like one heck of a day because each one of those things can be,
Yeah.
a mountain of work.
Mm.
I went to the DMV. I'll never forget. I went there, and that place is a madhouse. It is truly a madhouse.
Mm-hmm.
They make you wait. They make you hurry up to wait.
Yeah, with 50 people.
Yeah, hurry up to wait over here. Get in line. Hurry up to wait. It's pretty bad. Okay, so your experience went well. You got your driver's license. Did you take a good photo? Because you know it's gonna
Yeah,
last you years,
yeah, I
right?
had a big old grin, man. That girl was in there messing with me.
There
And
you go.
you
Smile
know
making
how,
you smile.
yeah, it was a big one. I ain't even want. I usually got a nonchalant look. I don't really like either or, but I was pretty happy. This is my first time having my license. My whole life took me 25 years past the time that I was supposed to get it, but I got it.
Well, congratulations, brother. That is one hell of a feat. Now tell me, uh, the laws in Ohio are pretty much decent when it comes to reinstating licensures, is what you're saying?
Yes, they're decent all the way around so long as that you have that birth certificate or one of those three components. Because if you don't, you're gonna have a hard time even getting a job. But after that, it rolls on out. Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty
So I
decent.
think Maine and Vermont, Ohio, and a couple other states are very lenient in this area, and that's
Yeah,
good.
there's the
Uh,
one thing that they're changing traffic laws to adjust to. Marijuana is legal in this state now. Medicinally, recreationally, it's not going to be sold for another at least until September. Um, so they're adjusting the laws as far as that go because see now they can't say anything to you about possessing it but what they can charge you with is an OVI, and you can't be underneath the influence of anything driving. I
Again,
feel
spell
like they
out
put
the acronym OVI. What is OV
operating vehicle intoxicated,
or impaired?
impaired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Intoxicated.
so I feel like they're kind of mad. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like police officers in general are mad about that because see, you can have up to 2 or 3 ounces on your person here and up to 6 plants in your house, and they can't say anything. And so they're gonna look for a reason. If they smell smoke in your car, if they, even though we all know that marijuana can be loud through the bag if it's some good marijuana, but if they smell marijuana in your car, they'll have a reason to use the new technology that they have to detect impaired driving. Oh, it's all across the news. I'm watching like a
Well, that's
dog.
good. I think you should, especially if you're one of the people who like to get high. If you are, then you need to be careful,
Yeah,
especially you because of your
yeah, yeah.
background and how they can. But when I was talking about licensure, I wanted to know was ex-felons. For ex-felons, is it easy to
Oh,
get a license in Ohio?
it's simple.
Okay.
It's you just got to have those documents. But other than that, they make it real easy for you to, at least me, I'm on what you call compact or interstate compact paper. People look up interstate compact in the law books. It would talk about business and commerce, but it also governs the Department of Corrections and the
Mhm.
states that participate in the
And federal.
compact.
It's federal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm on compact paper because my paper is out of another state.
Hmm.
And so I was able to transfer it because I had immediate family because I'm married. And so I was able to transfer it here and start all over. And any opportunity you looking for in this city, they got it. This is
Good.
I
Glad
like
to
to
hear
call it I like to call it a chocolate city. I ain't gonna lie.
why is that? Go ahead.
Because everything you looking for, if you're a minority, all you got to do is find it. Resources all the way down, all the way out. I have I have a booklet here with all the resources you can find.
I
Big
like it.
book.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like to be able to see that book one day. You should
You can see it.
digitize it. Give me a copy of it. I want to look at
Yeah.
it. I'd like that very much. Okay, so you're getting your life back on track. You have the ability to maneuver now and get around, and
Yeah.
it's legal. And you have to now do something you haven't had to do in a long time. Well, 25 years, and you have to think before you get behind the wheel. Figure out what your composure, what's your psychological evaluation of self, or have somebody psychologically evaluate you,
Yeah.
or check you for impairment, or check you
Yeah.
for whatever. Because sometimes when we think we're right, we're wrong, and sometimes when we think we're wrong, we're absolutely right. So have someone else say, "Hey, are you okay?" Before you get in a you don't want to lose that right that you just fought so hard and long to get, not for any reason whatsoever. When you don't have something, it's easy to lose it. When you've never had it, it's easy to
Yeah.
lose it. But when you've had it and lost it, it's harder to lose the second time around. So I hope this is one of the times in your life that
Yeah.
that license will go to your grave with you, I pray. And that's what I hope. Okay, so what did you think about our last session? I want to go back to another point. What our last session with you and your wife, how did that go play in your head after we spoke?
I think it was informative. It was very informative. Not to mention impromptu. I took a speech class, and so you
Very
know,
impromptu. I mean,
yeah.
not the
Uh,
meeting itself, but the questioning was very impromptu.
well,
You're
the feeling that you feel to have your partner sitting beside you doing a therapy like this.
right.
It was impromptu, and it was all of a sudden, even though I knew it was coming. But then I felt like the experience was a good one. Um, it wasn't bad in any way, and I don't think there was any faking going on. And I detect that a mile away, and I like to put it on the wood. As
Quite
soon as
authentic.
excuse me.
Quite authentic. You're right.
Yeah, I feel like it was. I feel like wherever there's still struggle, or there's still a lot of issue, because we're gonna have issues till we die. Everybody is, if you're in a relationship or it's not a real one, to me.
Hmm.
But where there are issues, I feel like there's active application. There's work on it, actively working on it,
Oh yeah.
vocally working on it. I see it, I hear it every day. Not to say that there's still some things I ain't get mad about. I don't like going to the store for 3 hours. And I might I might be a little smart because I don't want to be sitting here, but I get past that. I ain't gotta be smart.
Well, that's the system.
Yeah.
I think bureaucracy is all about hurry up and waiting. I mean, military, you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you got to be down somewhere at 4 o'clock in the morning, and the plane don't take off till 11 o'clock in the morning.
Ah,
What's going on? It
the
is,
DOC is like that. The DOC, when you transfer to another prison or going to an assessment, evaluation assessment, A&E, um, yeah, that's like that too. They will make you sit there forever in a little bitty tiny room with somebody that you're not comfortable with, and this person might not even ever be getting out. Now you want to have conversations. I don't want to talk.
yeah, yeah. We both know how that feels. But how did you overcome it? What did you do not to lose your cool when you were there these 3 hours at the DMV? What exercises in your brain housing group or in your heart or in your countenance? What did you do to kind of stave off the madness?
Well, I mean, I like to shoot pool. I'm an avid pool shooter, and I got a game on my phone. But when I won enough money on the pool game, and that bored me. I'm a people watcher, and I like to listen to people. And I hear very well because that's how prison honed me. I used to listen to the guards' footsteps to know when they're coming, so they don't catch me do nothing illegal in my room, like boil hot water
Your
from
heightened
yeah.
skills. I
So
like that.
it enhanced my hearing, and so I like to listen to people and see different people and watch their bodies. I read bodies. I read bodies every day. I don't need you to tell me what you're thinking for me to know.
Yeah, well, I think that makes two of us who reads bodies. Even
Yeah,
though on this particular video, you got to be careful because I'm actually not mirroring my camera. You're actually over here. No, I'm sorry. See, I just lied. You're actually over here because normally it's the same way. But when you're using these name uh, uh, plates that are over my video, they don't
yeah,
mi- they don't allow you to mirror. That's really interesting. And I think it's just because of the lettering will be
yeah,
backwards. Other than that, so I'm always trying to look in your direction, but you're really, in the other way. You're the opposite direction from me over here. But because I don't want people to think I'm not paying attention to you. And that's a self-conscious thing that people do when they believe that. So when you're sitting there and you're playing your pool game and you're tired of it, how long did you play pool on your phone?
about 20 minutes.
So you had 2 hours and 40 minutes left to do what? What did you do?
I could go through my emails. I had a couple of documents I had to get to the bank so that my account could pop like I wanted to.
Mhm.
Um, I went through that.
Pop mean be approved and work the way you want it to work.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
want to keep things translated for everybody.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Vernacular we use sometimes, not everybody I don't think understand, but then they can put two and two together for the most part.
Yeah.
How's your dad doing?
My dad, all right. All he think about is working,
Really?
going to church.
Okay, so does he go to church now? Where is he located again? He's in
Marion, Indiana.
Marion, Indiana. So does he ever come down to visit you?
No. Initially, he knew that I was coming from Wisconsin to Ohio, but he didn't know where at in Ohio. And then his wife has a daughter here in Columbus,
Hmm.
and every now and then she comes to see her daughter. And before they could put two and two together, it was already established, unspoken, really, that I just drive down there and see my dad. He's trying to work. I know he's retired 3 times. All he wants to do is keep work, 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 work. And so I know I got to make time to go to him. Um, and I do.
Do you and Bobby go out dancing?
Uh, We've been out. We've danced a little bit down in Cincinnati at the Fishbowl. No,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, we went out and we had some fun. You know,
You're from the Midwest, Indiana. So I'm just saying to you, do you step?
I two step. You know how I step any way you want me to step.
Okay. And a lot of people don't understand stepping.
Yeah,
Did Bobby learn? Did she learn to step?
Bobby has 2 feet. I have to adjust that.
Okay. Okay, stepping is Chicago, Midwest, Indiana,
Yeah,
Gary kind of thing. It's a form of dance, and it's really a cool dance too. It's a
yeah. You gotta
person
have a
dance.
cool look.
Yeah,
Gotta
you have
throw you a zoot suit on, you know.
yeah. It depends upon the area of the country you're in, especially. But that absolutely down in Americas, I think people have heard a lot about another dance called it's slipping my mind, bachata. Do you bachata or merengue or salsa?
Oh, okay, that route. No, last time I did some of that, it was Macarena. I was about 15. I was about
Yeah, I
15.
remember that song. I haven't thought about that in years. Macarena. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, Macarena. Okay, so you guys get out, you step, you party, you eat good food and all that. When you
yeah.
finish with a typical night out with your wife,
Um,
at home. Oh no, go ahead. What? Don't let me interrupt.
she shoots pool better than me.
Uh-oh.
And so we'll go shoot some pool and get at it, or we'll go to watch a game at BBWs, or it's not the typical crowd that I like to free myself in, but it's definitely a safer route and a peaceful route. We go
BBW,
downtown
BBW,
Columbus.
Buffalo Wings, what?
Wow, yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings.
All right, BB.
Um, they have a here in Columbus. They have a river. I can't even pronounce the word. I think it's Scioto or something like that. But they have a floating theater. Yeah, literally. If you can remember the movie Jason's Lyric, when Halle Berry was in the boat with the other fella, and it was like a rowboat or a pirogue, like
Hmm.
Louisiana, and they got candles in the boat, two candles, and they got the little wooden piece in the middle. You can put your little tablecloth out and have your little snack, watch the movie on the
Kind of
river.
romantic, kind of romantic.
Yeah, it's nice.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you guys enjoy those kinds of times that you can always benchmark that
Yeah,
day or that part of your life with
yeah,
an event.
yeah,
One of the reasons I'm asking you all these questions, I think that the more you fill your schedule,
yeah.
you specifically fill your schedule, and of course, Bobby filling her schedule, are you finding enough time for quality between you two?
I don't believe so. At least not for me, and not enough for me. That's been always been a big thing, man. But she always got something going, whether it's a school or practicum or a group or something. And I although I know those things are imperative, they're very important that you acquire whatever certifications or licensing or education that you need. But I feel like I'm first. The family's like first, and we don't get a lot of time. It's gotten better, but she might do what she has to do, which I ain't tripping, but she'll do what she has to do, and then it might be 9 o'clock, and she'll say, "Let's go do this." Nope, because I know you flat dead tired. And so now I'm out. And I gotta try to wait to see if God gonna give us sunshine the next day.
Let me ask
You
you a
know,
question. When you say that, when you say I'm out, no, it's too late. I know you're tired. Are you saying it to her to punish her? Or are you saying it to her to support her? How do you
I'm
feel?
well,
How does she take it?
I think she takes it the wrong way, but see, this is how I'm saying it. This is how I'm intending it. I'm not being smart or disrespectful. I'm saying, man, it's too late because see, for one, your body's not gonna even allow you to have fun. And if you try to press it, I'm gonna think you're not sincere in wanting to do that. I want to spend some time with you, and I don't want to spend it in this house around kids and every dogs and stuff. And so, most times when I backpedal like that, it feelings get harbored. They might not be vocal, but body language changes, and that little patch get rough for us for the time being, for a little, maybe an hour, because I'll be in my feelings. I'm an outside type of guy. I like to see people and things and places, and I've been in a jail cell all my life. I don't want to be in the house, and I feel like if I do what I'm supposed to do, then there shouldn't be anything. I don't care if it's the weekday, the beginning of the weekday. I don't care. I want to go have me some fun, and that's what I want to do, and I want to do it with you. But we can't always have it like that, and I understand that too. But It's just an unfortunate predicament.
Well, here's what I would suggest, if I may. Sometimes when people say yes, they actually mean it. Sometimes when they say no, they actually mean it. But you said that you don't care if it's the day of the week or Monday or whatever it is, you want to get out and you deserve to get out and you've been in prison. And all that's very true. But it's not about you anymore. It's about us and we. You know this.
Yeah.
And if let's say I was married right now and my wife said, I want to go out right now because you haven't been out and you deserve to get out, Mike. You know why I'm going to take her seriously? Do you want to
Right.
know why?
Yep.
Because she is an individual different from me. And she has her own autonomy. She has her own inner clock. She has her own understanding of what pleases her. All of these things are about her. So when she comes to me and wants me to get out, I'm not disbelieving her. Even, excuse me, even if she doesn't want to go out, but she's doing it for you, let her do it for you.
Mm.
Let her be the best version of herself she can be with you. And you're not caring, this is just between you and I and a fence pole, if you and the rest of the audience of the world, I hope, but let her not only just be herself, but to invoke in your spirit, like if my baby want to take me out and I know she's tired, even though we won't do 4 hours out, let's go do a good 45 minutes, an hour and a half. Meet her halfway because your needs in her life will never be as important as her needs in her life. Like in your life, your needs in your life, no one else's needs should ever trump yours. You have to take care of you first. Matter of fact, the first rule of law when it comes to man and survival is not just the survival of the fittest, but self-preservation is always number one. And she's preserving herself. She's giving that dirt tired deal that you just mentioned to you, her husband. She probably wouldn't even muster the energy for anyone else in the world. But if you, with care, instead of not caring, but with care, you say, babe, not tonight. It's okay. Let's get rested. And then we go, but I'm going to hold you on that and make her feel good that she came to you in the right way. Not because you won or got your lick in or she passed up the hour where you could actually go out because she was busy with something else. Because what I've noticed so far with both of you, and I think your life has changed so much in this regard. But what I've noticed is both of you are always trying to do something to better your relationship, to strengthen the family, to create more of a principle-based relationship, to be kinder to one another. And you sometimes 0 to 60, 0 to 100, but it's far and few than what it used to be. So when you say, I don't care, because you've been conditioned to say that. I used to say it all the time. I don't care what she thinks. I'm going to do what I want to do. And it found nothing but disdain, disheartening. It just made for terrible bedfellows. So
Yeah.
what I would say to you, because you're smart, you just sat through 3 hours at the DMV, checking emails, playing pool, and just fiddling around until they said, smile, right? You just did that. She deserves the same kind of consideration in anything she does, especially if she's doing it for herself to better her, which in turns and of course axiomatically, it inures to the benefit of the family, especially you. Who wants to be with a woman no one else wants? Who? She's a wonderful person. She's a hard worker. She's bettering herself. She's doing all these things. And you want to be with this woman because she's doing all that. And you told me once, matter of fact, you just told me she was better than you at pool. I thought I'd never hear that. Is she better than you at basketball? I need to hear that
Oh,
myself.
no, no,
Okay,
no. Bobby was an all-star. She was an all-star base softball player, but see, I was an all-star softball player too.
oh
See,
God, you two will
yeah,
stay in a competitive league the rest of your life. But I'm not saying ever let her win, but if she wins, enjoy it. Let her
yeah,
enjoy winning. Like you just, and I thought that was very manly of you, as a matter of fact, to say, my wife shoots pool better than me. Because in Chicago, if you can't shoot pool, there's something wrong with you. That's just the national or the local pastime, I should say. But I think that the courtesies that you granted yourself while sitting in the DMV, I think those courtesies of being patient, of not getting pissed off at everybody there, of not acting out, not pacing all around, just sitting there, minding your own business, being cool. Prison taught you that. Real life taught you that. What you've learned so far in different therapies have taught you this. But it's cool to just bake in the idea in your soul that you're not going to let things or people rattle you. Excuse me. And I say all that to you, you need to give her that same courtesy that you give yourself. You give her that same leeway, that same pampering, because you did pamper yourself. You had to in order to sit there at the DMV. And those who go crazy up in there, you can notice them quickly. You're like, oh my God, this lady's nuts. This guy, what is he wearing? And that person smells, and it's just one deal after another. I think in every DMV in the world. Okay, she needs to do the same for you too, and I will echo that to Bobby. And I think she already knows. I think we had this conversation, but I think the same courtesy she grant herself for spending an extra 2 hours in a library, for the same types of influences that are on her to make her do better for your relationship. Because when you know better, you do better. And the same thing she's doing for her family, she's granting herself those courtesies and those approvals, if you will. And she needs your support in that. You need hers. She needs to know when you're sitting in a room and she's totally ignoring you because she's busy with something else, that it only takes 2 seconds to stand up and lean your head through the door and say, baby, I am so swamped in here. I hope you understand. She doesn't have to be apologetic, but she has to acknowledge, every time a woman does anything and she has to apologize, then you just have a sorry woman. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. No, then you have a sorry woman. You don't need that. What you need is a person who acknowledges you and understands the circumstance and can articulate that to you. And you need to be able to do the same to her. So you don't seem needy. Like, hey, what about me? Why? You leave me sitting here and da-da-da. Instead of going through all of that, just accept the fact that she has other things to do, and they are important. Unless there's something surreptitious or sneaky or underhanded or some kind of trickery. A lot of people, women and men both, play games on each other. They gaslight one another. They really do. They just, you say one thing, they say that never happened. You say, I love you. Well, you didn't tell me you love me. Da, da, da. All these kinds of things. People play those games with each other, and sometimes they gaslight one another into a false sense of insecurity in the relationship, but also a false sense of security. Either way, they manipulate. So you don't want to ever come off like that. And I'm sure you don't want your wife to ever come off like that. So the best thing to do in any relationship is support your mate, no matter what it is, unless it's something to hurt you or hurt your family. And maybe they're not seeing it, and you are, and you're right about it. Because not all the time are we right as men, all the time. Not all the time are women right either. Even though they'll tell you, yeah, we're right. But we're still men, and we still have to operate under the vein of, being a man, at least in today's society. So I'm saying all this to say to you, I think that's very powerful what you did today for yourself. And then at the end of it, you got your bank account straight, you got a new job lined up, and you got your driver's license. That's kind of like a trifecta, don't you think?
I'm just looking. I want to. It is in the grand scheme of things, but I want to feel like I'm progressing, because see, progression is gonna make me feel like a man, and that's what I strive to do every day. I want to feel like a man. I don't want to feel like, I got my hat cocked and all this shit. No, that ain't hitting on nothing, man. If excuse my language, that ain't hitting on
That's
nothing.
okay. Did you feel like you accomplished something today, though? Did you really feel like you
Yeah,
progressed?
yeah, I did, man. That's all my dad asked me about. He asked me every time you get your license, get your license. And my daddy's 69 and in the country. You ain't gonna dunk it too many times. You know
He'll
what I'm
stay on
saying?
point. He'll stay on point. He won't
Yeah.
let you deflect. So you got your license. Did you call him in the car on the way back home, or
Nope. I did 100 on the way back home.
first they were like, okay, let's not do 100 anymore. I hope that's figured to speak.
I had to get the group.
I know. But let's keep that license just for a little while longer. Let's just
Yeah, we'll
keep that license. Oh, so this is your first day with your license. Well, it's your last too. You don't want to do that.
yeah.
So, and I had planned on talking for a few minutes until you got it, because I was told you were on your way back from from the driver's vehicle's place. So, you know, that's it. But
Yeah.
um, when are you going to tell your dad?
Probably I'm gonna I gotta go clean the garage out real quick and prepare to move some stuff around. So as soon as I'm able to sit down a couple hours, probably about 2 hours, I know he's going to bed soon because we're on the same time frame as Indiana. He's going to bed. So I'm gonna catch him and brighten him up a little bit. Yeah,
Definitely do that. I think he deserves to hear what he's been asking you for a long time. And it's almost like getting a driver's license is really almost like a rite of passage. Like when you get your first car when you're a certain age and you got your driver's license, and first time on the freeway, and, you know, the lessons you've learned over the years that, you know, your young years, but even though you learned it 25 years later.
yeah,
But, you know, I think that's something that he would be very proud of. Do you?
yeah. I do. I think so.
Are you proud of?
Yeah, I am, man. You know how long I've been illegal driving back and forth?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that
Scared.
too many times on air, but
It's too late. What you gonna do? What can you
I don't know. I don't
what
know.
can you
You know, I don't know the law
retroactive?
that well.
Yeah, I know it. You can't if you didn't catch me driving, then guess what? I ain't did nothing. And that's how that work. I ain't never caught it. I ain't never been pulled over by the police. I'm a pretty good driver. I'm gonna tell you something. If you can drive on the Dan Ryan
Oh yeah, Dan Ryan Expressway, Chicago.
and yeah, and not die, you hitting 1,000.
That is one of the toughest. You're right. The Dan
Yeah,
Ryan Expressway, other than some countries like the Dominican
yeah,
Republic or
yeah.
China and a few other places I've been, where it's the wild, wild west when you drive in certain places. Literally the wild, wild west. You can have a green light, but they going anyway. It's just how it is in some
A
places.
100 miles per
Oh,
hour
yeah.
average.
Oh, yeah. And no one gets into an accident.
Nope.
I remember in the Dominican Republic, everybody drives crazy. And I don't mean that lightly. I mean nuts.
Yeah.
But you never see an accident. Not ever, because everybody anticipate the other person doing that. Are you the same when you drive? You just kind of drive,
I
anticipate.
do know I'm one of those guys that if I see a arrow for construction telling you to merge to the next lane, I'm gonna see you got about 6 miles of visibility in your face. Okay, I'm gonna see that, and I'm getting over before everybody try to force and rush. I don't like the because a car accident is like a snake to me. I don't like no snakes at all, none. The two-legged ones or the ones on their stomach.
There you go. Well, you know, you just said something though, which is probably one of the best principles for the world to hear, and that is, whenever you're driving, you don't just look at the car in front of you. You look way 3, 4, 5 miles ahead of you, and you look in your rear view, and you constantly surveil everything, and that'll keep you prepared, like you were, for getting over and getting in line and waiting your turn to move to whatever the construction or whatever area it is.
Yeah,
I think it's something most people don't do. They're not constantly scanning the horizon, is what it's called, and also scanning the vehicles in front of them and the vehicles behind them. Because it's that guy that steps on his brake in front of you that, of course, 10 cars back, they don't see that. And they just ram everybody that comes into you. So, okay.
yeah,
So, and I'm using all this kind of like a metaphor. It's like life. Driving
yeah,
is like life. You got to know when to speed up and slow down, get into the slow lane, get into the fast lane. And it's very metaphorical. I think your life and Bobby's life have been on dirt roads and highways and byways and, you
yeah,
know, interstates. And now you guys are finally getting on to a nice 4-lane highway where it's not easy sailing, but it's navigable, very navigable.
yeah,
And I kind of feel like that's what I'm trying to compare you to. Because Bobby, I think your wife for you is probably the exact person for you. And I'm not giving you my opinion because I like Bobby as a person. I'm just saying you see couples together and y'all may argue, you may fight, but when it comes to her being in your corner, she's there. When you come to you being in hers, you're there. Now we just gotta tone down the arguing, which I think you guys have radically done, but also and maintain it, getting it down to a peaceful and a amicable conversation, and even mutually beneficial. Getting it there is good. Keeping it there is hard. Are you finding that to be the case, Montez?
It's harder to bite my tongue when I want to talk. That kills me. If I don't get on somewhere, I'm gonna end up saying what I want to feel like I need to say anyway. But that it's harder to do that. But I feel like the payout is great because see, 9 times out of 10, if there's an argument,
You
it's
look like
gonna
you're
drag
tired.
out.
It's okay. Yawn. It's okay. Yawn.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it in.
Bro, it's okay. Don't fake it. Yeah, you know, you're not a fake dude. So you don't have to sit
Yeah,
there and put on airs for nobody. You had a long ass day.
yeah.
Everybody
Um,
knows like if it's 6 o'clock in the evening, you're like, I'm tired. I
yeah,
want to
yeah,
rest my bones. Great, it's okay to yawn. If I'm tired, not because it's boring. Sometimes I'm up 3 o'clock in the morning doing these things. Depends upon where I am
yeah.
in the world. So, that's just how it goes. But I understand, though. I really do. But remember what you just said. If we're going to go back to principled conversation, you just said, when I feel this way, or when I think I should say something, when I need that last word. And that's what causes the most of the problem. If you say we, collective, us, and she and I, and me and her, when you speak in those terms, it becomes more palatable, easier to digest, and people look
Yeah.
forward to talk instead of like, oh, what does he want now? Oh, what does she want now?
Palatable.
Palatable, yeah, tasty,
It
very,
tastes better, huh?
yeah, very digestible. Succulent.
Okay. All right.
It's a juicy conversation when you're talking about us. It becomes very stale when you just talk about I. It
Yeah.
is. It's okay. And so, did you get any sleep last night?
No,
Why not? Uh-oh. If you can say, why not?
because I'm a warrior.
Okay. You were worried about today.
No, I'm worried about every day.
Okay, but let me ask you a question. Has that ever benefited you in your life to worry? What benefit do you get? I need to know what that is. What benefit do you get from worrying?
Okay, for me, when I worry is preparation, and I'm beneath proper preparation.
Yeah,
So if
I don't
yeah,
think worrying is preparation. I think you've interpreted it that way, but I don't think worrying is preparation. Worrying is an interjection. Or matter of fact, forget interjection. It's an injection of stress. Because remember, this is what I think. You know, uh, I remember hearing this many, many, many years ago, and I've just adopted it for my life at least decades ago. And that was, someone asked another person, they said, you could almost get killed.
yeah,
You don't seem to worry. And the guy replied, would it help? It's going to make my situation any better if I worry. No. Well, tomorrow will come. And I think you need to know that. You've been so, and this is just my hypothesis or my well-educated guess, and that is you have been stripped your whole life of tomorrow.
yeah,
Hell yeah, you're worried the night before. Anything. Yes, you are. I get that. But there comes a time when you can't fall back on having been stripped from something. You have to now lean forward on that you now have access and ability for something instead of what they've taken from you is what you're giving yourself or what that situation you're involved in is giving you. Because I think you have a lot to look forward to. Remember, happiness is only having something to look forward to. If you're unhappy, you're not looking forward to anything. But if you're happy, you have something to look forward to. That will bring you all kinds of joy. And you got a lot to look forward to. And one day you got your license, you got another job, and you drove 100 miles an hour. Don't do that anymore. You're just doing so much now in your life. I think it's very productive and very progressive. I mean, you have to see that you're light years ahead of where you were 4, 5, 6 months ago. You're light years ahead. I'm sure you see that.
yeah. What's this, February? 6 months ago? Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
So how's your life different? If you had to paint us a picture, how would you paint the picture? Your life different from the way it used to be until the way it is now.
Well, 6 months ago, I was just having to. I got out the county jail on the 1st of September. I had to go sit in the county all summer long. I lost a lot of money. I was working 22 hours a day. Um, my life was still kind of. I was still trying to bounce back from having to. I got out of prison on the Valentine's Day of last year, and then I had to go back to jail in May. No chance to do anything to try to better any kind of predicament. Um, I was homeless. I got out September the 1st to September the 9th. We checked into a shelter in Wisconsin, because they said they would give us housing vouchers, portable housing vouchers. Okay, meaning I could transfer it anywhere in the country. So we
Oh, the
played that
voucher,
money.
not the actual living facility. The voucher. I never understood that. Okay,
No, the,
thank you.
the living facility is it was in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, right outside of Milwaukee, Waukesha. I'm sure you're familiar.
Wisconsin
It's
Dale is all I know about Wisconsin, bro.
Oh well, yeah, that's on the other side of the state, but
Yeah.
there's nothing but corn. It's literally there in the cornfield. It was a shelter, and the setup was so nice. It was a waiting list. You had to be a family unit, so it couldn't just be me or just her, but it had to be in a family unit. So it was me, one of my boys, and the two dogs, and her. And then they put you in a room, put you in not a room, but you ever seen those old hotels on Route 66?
Oh yeah, like
One of those.
like a motel.
Yeah, it was set up like that. That's exactly what it was. But then they put a playground in the back, and they had a garden and a place to barbecue. It was a nice setup. And then they say, hey, stay here 45 days. We'll give you a housing voucher that was redeemable anywhere in the United States of America.
Okay, so that worked out for you guys. It was something that actually benefited you because you used that voucher in else other places, correct?
Yeah, but I got into a fight.
Who'd you get in a fight with? Of course you
Well,
did. Who'd you get in a fight with?
there was one guy there, and I don't know how. Okay, I'm gonna use Chicago. I went to prison in Chicago, man. And if you ain't from Chicago, you better not be from the southern half of that state. If you from East St. Louis, there's gonna be a problem. And guess where I caught my case at?
He
East
said,
St. Louis. And me being from Indiana, you're going to get treated worse. Now, Milwaukee is the same way. If you're Milwaukee's not even the capital of the state, but they're the biggest, and they ain't only this big. You could fit you could fit Milwaukee and Columbus right now. But they got this air about themselves. They have this attitude that they the baddest. They're this, they're that. Now, I'm
what
just
about
a cucumber. You'll see me. I don't care if it's raining outside. I'm going to cut some grass. My shoes white. Um, I'm just real smooth, but I'm just not into the bully. I seen all the baddest bullies, they turned into gay people in prison. I seen them already. So you can't bully me. And when I'm at work, you're not allowed to try to bully my kids or my wife. And I meant that. So I came home from work one day, and I got off around about 10 o'clock at night, and my wife was arguing with this old 50-something-year-old bully that who
Mhm.
walked around like this. And I've been in prison. You don't know I've been too. So you might want to let the air out your body because that stuff don't work. And I
What did
had
you
something
do?
to say.
What did you do
I
to
well the first night I just I let him know kind of harsh too, because what I felt like I should have been doing, I wasn't doing. I didn't put my hands on him, but I made my tongue pop like a cat of nine tails though. And I made sure I did so he understood where I was coming from because I didn't appreciate it. I feel like you a punk. Okay. And then the next day I get off work. I got an autistic son. My son don't always know when he's doing the wrong thing. He happened to drink a bottle of water in the kitchen, the community kitchen. He drank a bottle of water and it happened to be that guy's. Not only did he do that, but he coughed and didn't cover his face up. He's autistic.
hmm
I come back and I gotta hear this again. So
hmm
I went and knocked on his door and I told him, man, don't say nothing else to my family. And I mean that. I'll go do some time for that if that's what you were looking for. And he proceeded to say whatever, da 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 da. So I went to sleep, and it was about 3:30, and Bobby was doing laundry, and while I was asleep, he was throwing these indirect threats at her while she was walking across the parking lot with a laundry basket, doing our laundry. So I got up. Bobby begged me not to go outside, but I said, hold on. I ain't got to stay stuck up in nowhere for nobody. I don't care how you feeling, but I ain't got to say nothing to you neither. And so I did it. And I went outside, sat down, smoked a cigarette. Well, he walked all the way around the car to try to accost me. So when he was on his way, it hurt me to my soul to get up and going back in the building. But I did that. But then I went back out the building to go talk to administrative people because I was going to let them know. Had I took my dog with me, he wouldn't have never approached me. But he approached me. And when he did, he approached me like this. And so when he did that, you know, I'm a left-handed fighter. And I showed him that when I slid into that road. And then it was the fight. And that's what it was going to be. And I ran from the police for about 8-9 days in that little town from we got kicked out of the shelter. And so now I'm at every hotel. We're spending all our money. I turned myself in twice. The people didn't want me. I wasn't wanted. But yet the PO issue still is there because there's police contact. And there's somebody saying that I did something, which was battery.
Oh, yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Can I interject? Because we only have a few minutes left because I want to give you
wow.
Do you see, I mean, this was a spirited conversation. Do you see that perhaps there would have been a better way to handle him?
Yeah.
He's dead now.
Well, the only other better way, because man, I'm sorry. Every man on this earth has his limit. And every man on this earth that has a family has a duty and obligation to protect his family.
Of course.
I don't care. And the consequences never matter to me. Only thing I got mad about is that I just got another job in Janesville, Wisconsin, because we were outside of Janesville. I got another dang on job. Every time I'm catching a job like it ain't nobody's business.
When you squint your eye and you bite your lip, does that mean you're holding back something?
You're reading me, ain't you? No, that's passion. That's okay. Me. I mean,
then let me ask you this. Let me ask you this with that passion. Next time you get in that set of circles, I've had people walk up to me and say all kinds of crap to me. So long as they don't step into my personal space, I could care less. And it took me years to learn that.
Yeah.
Guys, women, you name it. When people don't understand you or they don't know, like you said, I think you preempted it. You said that I've been to prison too. Those are your exact words. When people don't know, Montez, they always make it up. And it won't be good. When they're making it up, it won't be good. And that's what antagonists do to people like you. That's what people who are trying to egg you on do. They just keep pushing and pushing. They'll even show their fists. Not that they could use them or would ever use them, but they want you to respond. And you put your life in jeopardy. You put your freedom in jeopardy. You put your family in jeopardy. You put the law after you by standing up. And that's not wrong to stand up. But you could have won that one. I can walk you through it backwards another day, but you could have won that one. That guy could be in jail from whatever time he spent in prison, and you could have just had a different life in Wisconsin, perhaps. Who knows?
Michael, he was approaching me. He was swinging on me. He was swinging.
Yeah, but you knew you could whoop his ass because we come on.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, just the way if a man is, excuse the expression, bitching at a woman in public, then he's not really a man. That's not a man. That's a coward. A coward does that. A real man just sits there and relax and go, okay, whatever you say, let's not do this in public. All right, there you go, and let it go. And then when they get back home, baby, don't ever do that to me again. That's just terrible. I can't live with that.
Yeah.
Something along that nature. But you're that kind of dude too. You're the kind of, okay, I peeped it. I know what's going on. It's not going to happen here. You need to exercise that more than anything else. Why? Because you are volatile. Because you are an ex-felon. And because the guys that you saw were bullies were being bullied in prison. You know that whole dynamic. You know. That means if you know it, you know better. You know much better than he did.
Yeah.
And anytime a person comes to me with their fist balled up, I'm going to not punch them in the face. I'm going to try and punch them in the back of their head, like straight through their face to the back of their skull. That's self-preservation. That's self-defense. That's standing your ground. That is legal. You had no reason to run other than the fact that that individual may or may not have been the right color or persuaded. Was he a white guy, a black guy?
It was a black guy. He told me I wasn't a real black person. He said I wasn't a real black person.
That's okay. Words, what is that? Sticks and stones and the words may never hurt me.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to tell you is that you had the upper hand all along. You were defending your family, your honor. You were being respectful to a point. You went and sat down and smoked a cigarette, and then he took it to another level, and you had to respond. Any any police organization in the world would understand that without any stretch of the imagination. But at the time, you weren't thinking that way like you're thinking now. So I get it. But we'll talk more about that in the future. I want to just quickly say to everyone before we leave, we're going to have a few minutes. I enjoy talking to you, Montez. Sometimes you
Yeah,
look like you blow up.
likewise.
Sometimes you look like you're about to blow up. And you know, that's good. You know why it's good? Because you didn't. You didn't blow up. Maintaining your composure in all situations, maintaining your composure will always lead you to a better outcome because you're the one that's focused. You're the one that's seeing everything as it unfolds, and you're the one who's calculating your response. And it's you're weighing it against the pros and the cons, and you come out victorious every time. Not that this is happening to you today, but there is an opportunity in the future. If you keep living life, life will occur. So there is an opportunity in the future where something's going to happen, where somebody's going to get in your face like that again. And nobody's saying that you're, a coward or anything for not fighting them or not having a face-to-face beef. But what's at stake? Your family, your sons that need, your job, your driver's license, your ability to vote one day. Whatever it is that you've accomplished has just gone down the toilet based on a beef. And it's not worth it. 6, 7 years later, you're sitting in the cell wondering what happened. Come back out, everything you had is gone. Not worth it. Just isn't worth it. So, but, I know how you are because I was the same way when I was younger and, in Chicago and military and other places. If I don't get you now, I'm going to get you sooner or later. I used to be that way. You may think you got away with it tonight, but wait till you're walking in your house one day. I'm going to whoop your ass right in front of your house. That was how I was. And I had to learn to do better and be better than it. And it was wrong, but it felt good at the time. But today I look back at it and I regret it. I regret it. So, you have to have learned. Anyway, let me do this. Give me 1 second. If you enjoyed tonight and you got something out of today's session, please show your support. Of course, sharing this video, subscribing and liking our channel, but also make a comment and get engaged. Our next Norm Therapy session will be with Montez this Thursday, February 29th. This is leap year, so this is a good day that we have one on the 29th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go to goaro.org and normtherapy.com and explore opportunities and seek help for yourself or someone needing our services. And that's in abuse care, of course. Abuse care is a genre under which all of this falls. Norm therapy is the proponent that actually promotes abuse care. If you're interested in applying to participate in our live stream as a victim or survivor, email us at contact@normtherapy.com, but also email us there if you're interested in becoming a norm therapist. It's not an easy course, but it's not so hard that you can't pass. I look forward to, of course, seeing you all. And thank you for joining us as we look forward to seeing you again this Thursday. Hopefully everybody got something out of it. I like all the comments that I'm trying to see on each screen, and everything's opposite for me. So if I look like I'm looking up at the sky, I'm really looking at you. But thank you, Montez. I'm very proud of you. I have to say that just as like a big brother. I'm proud of you. I think that, the hurdles and rites of passages you went through just today, job, family oriented, and of course, licensed. Those are important milestones for you to benchmark. And where you were that day and what catapulted you into the next place. So hopefully this is it. So good luck with that. And I'll see you on Thursday. Okay, brother?
Yeah, thank you, man. You have a good day.
You, bro. Thank you.